are making a lot of noise at AT&T Stadium.
Anything that moves between these lines, got to get dealt with.
They hand it to Pollard. He comes running out the right side. Deep to the post to Lamb. At the 5 to the goal line.
Dallas Cowboys Game Night is presented by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys.
The Dallas Cowboys fall to the Arizona Cardinals 28-16, the final score from State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona, as the Cardinals improve to 1-2 on the 2023 season. The Cowboys fall to 2-1. It's the 7th time in 8 meetings that the Cardinals have taken down the Cowboys, and we welcome you into Cowboys Game Night here from the Star in Frisco in the Globe Life Studios. He's Nate Newton. I'm Kyle Yeomans. Nate, it wasn't pretty. It was a complimentary team loss compared to the complimentary team wins that we had seen from the Cowboys in weeks 1 and 2. But where do you start in the 28-16 defeat?
We didn't pay close attention to detail, Kyle. What we needed to do was stop the run. We thought we had that sorted up. It showed its ugly face today, and we need to be a little bit more detailed on the red zone. We were 1 for 5. If we can do those two things, we should be all right.
Yeah, there's certain things to continue to look at and to continue to look forward. Real quickly here, Nate, it starts with the defense. They're the ones that have set the tone. They didn't necessarily do that in this one.
Yes, not only was our front end not stopping the run, our back end looked a little confused with Deron Bland and Jordan Lewis back there. They weren't meshing the way they needed to.
Yeah, let's take a look at some of the highlights of how this one unfolded. Depending on who you ask, might be a lot of lowlights for the Cowboys. As they started the game hot, Arizona did with Joshua Dobbs breaking free. The mobile quarterback works down the near sideline, 44 yards on the opening drive. It led to an Arizona field goal. It was the first time Dallas has trailed at any point this season. Following a Dallas 3-and-out, James Conner extends the Cardinals' lead as he wins the race to the pylon. 9-0 Cardinals after a failed 2-point conversion. Dallas would answer 45 yards from Brandon Aubrey, but that was only a Band-Aid. Rondale Moore on the next drive gets through the hole and he turns on the afterburners, Nate. 45 yards to the crib.
Right there, man. They gave you a different personnel look. It used to be James Conner, but with a little draw play right there to Rondale Moore. Boy, and he took it to the house. Some turbos was turned on.
One of the scouting reports for this Arizona team coming in is they had speed at wide receiver. You saw it right there. After another missed 2-point conversion, it was 15-3. Dallas, though, got back on rhythm on offense. 13 plays, 75 yards, capped up with this 15-yard touchdown throw to Rico Dowdle. But then Arizona would put not one but 2 Matt Prater field goals on the board, including this one from 62 yards out to end the first half. They led it by 11 at the break. Dallas started the half with a field goal, but the red zone struggles from week 2 continued into week 3. This one on 4th down and 4, incomplete pass, turnover on downs inside the 5-yard line. And then Dallas again inside the 10, incomplete on third down and a couple, leads to a field goal. Next drive, though, for Arizona. They took advantage of the Dallas miscues. Joshua Dobbs finds Michael Wilson for 68 yards, their longest play from scrimmage on the day.
Yeah, the 3rd-round pick here looked like he ran a great route, but Moore is more like a busted coverage right there. As you see, Jordan Lewis was in zone and everybody else was in man, so he made a big play there.
That big play was 68 yards, setting up a 2-yard pitch and catch to Hollywood Brown. The score put Arizona up 28-16. Dallas on their next drive trying to find the end zone. Gallup is open, but not for long. There's a PI thrown, at least a penalty flag thrown initially. They picked it up, Nate. Was this pass interference?
I know it wasn't. I mean, it's bang, bang, and it happened so quick, and the ref thought they saw something, and as they reviewed it, they overturned it. Bang play.
Picked up the flag. Dallas got back on offense, still had a chance on 3rd and goal. Dak Prescott over the middle. It's intercepted by Kaiser White in the end zone. It seals it for Arizona. They're able to run out the final 3 minutes of the clock in the 4th. Mike McCarthy and the Cowboys fall to 2-1 on the season, 28-16, the final score from State Farm Stadium. Plenty more to come from Nate Newton, from myself, but when we come back, we're going to hear from Dak Prescott what went wrong on the offensive side of the football for the Cowboys in their loss to Arizona, with more Cowboys Game Night after this.
This segment is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Make every day game day with Dallas Cowboys scratch tickets from the Texas Lottery. Play today for your chance to win big.
Welcome back into Cowboys game night from the Star in Frisco as the Cowboys fall to the Arizona Cardinals 28-16. Let's hear from Dak Prescott, who finished his day just underneath 250 yards. He threw that one interception, his only pick thrown this season. Here's Dak.
Yeah, we just didn't score. Simple as that. Took a shot at the end zone. I got to get that throw out there in front of MG. Thought we got the call. Obviously, the refs got together, didn't give it to us, and then just from there, I got to make that third down throw. I got to make the throw some way, put it over him, maybe just scramble, not go there with it, but felt like we needed to play there, try to put it past the backers there. He made a great catch.
Quick follow-up on that penalty. Talk a little bit about the challenge of having to try to overcome as many penalties as was thrown against you guys, especially on the road.
Yeah, it was tough. As you just put it, the penalties plus being on the roads are never easy. Dug ourselves into some holes on some different drives. We're able to overcome some of them. But even when you're able to overcome them, I think that's just you're making it harder on yourself and you're taking yourself out of that rhythm. And it was tough. It was tough, and obviously we couldn't overcome it and didn't come away with what we wanted to.
Nick Harris, DallasCowboys.com. What's kind of your perspective on the red zone struggles as far as getting into the end zone?
Yeah, we've got to do better. Just as a team, as a unit, myself, got to make some throws, maybe use my feet more. Obviously, that's an area that we haven't been good in these last 2 weeks, and even with the win last week, that was the sore spot in the win. And obviously, look at this loss, move the ball up and down the field and just couldn't score. And so that's your reason for this loss. And so we've all got to get back to the drawing board. Starts with me and making some throws and making some plays, as I said, with my feet and trying to get it done.
On the final interception, what happened there? What did you see and what was supposed to happen there, obviously?
Yeah, Cook says boom, boom, getting back behind the backer. Backer did a good job of playing it, tried to look him away, and then just put it by his ear. I knew it was going to be a tough throw. At that moment, tried to make the throw. Obviously, the backer made a great play. Just tried to put it behind his ear, not thinking I had enough space to just get it up and down in the back. But, I got to live with that.
So there you see Dak Prescott. He's taking the responsibility for the loss. And there's parts of this that were in his hands, no doubt about it. Of course, a big interception at the end. But it wasn't all on Dak Prescott. What did you see from the offense, and why was it inept to get the job done in the red zone?
That was one time. They was down there. They were down at 5. They were 1 for 5 in scoring red zone. So you know what? They handed the ball off. They tried to throw it in there. They tried to hand it off in there. You got to pay attention to the small details. Our offensive line has to be better. Our running backs have to read it a little bit better. And everything's happened so quickly that our routes have to be precise. Okay, Dak, he had his one instance where it didn't go right. His other players had it where they didn't have it go right either. But he is the quarterback.
Yeah, finished up with 25 of 40, about 65% there for Dak Prescott, lower than what was the 71% coming in. They were able to work the ball down the field, put up decent numbers, but you got to get the job done in the red zone. When we come back, we're going to hear from the defensive side of the football. Demarcus Lawrence and company didn't set the tone the same way Dan Quinn's unit has in the past. We'll hear from D-Law next on Cowboys Game Night.
This segment was brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Make every day game day with Dallas Cowboys scratch tickets from the Texas Lottery. Play today for your chance to win big.
For the first time in the 2023 season, the Cowboys defense did not force a turnover. No takeaways for Dan Quinn's unit. They did provide some pressure, though, on Joshua Dobbs and company, including a Micah Parsons sack. Let's hear from one of the emotional leaders on that side of the ball, Demarcus Lawrence, following the Cowboys' loss to Arizona.
After the first 2 games, 7-10, and you're stopping everybody, and for them to gas you on the ground like this.
I want to say surprise. It's a good wake-up call. Still feel like we're a good football team. Got to eliminate the mistakes and, learn from them and get better.
Was it just run fits, or what was the real problem with the running back?
I think the real problem is, we was too antsy, eager to play. And, gap schemes, man. We got beat on a couple of fits, and, it's just all about us learning from our mistakes and getting better.
What about the pass rush? Your thoughts on how you did as a unit there?
Yeah, I feel like y'all watched the game, man. There wasn't no real drop back pass. It was really, outside the pocket, passing. So, I feel like we still rushed good. They got the ball out quick, but, it's a lesson learned, man. We're still early in the season. Ain't no need to panic or nothing like that. Just all about us, getting back in there, getting honed in on our details, learning from our mistakes, and getting better for next week.
Was it a wake-up call of sorts? I mean, you got feeling good about yourself as a unit.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Feeling great about ourselves, but, NFL is not for long. So, definitely put that feeling behind us. We got punched in the mouth tonight, but it's all about us. And it's really, I don't feel like they did anything special. I feel like, through the pre-snap penalties and, the flags after the play, we actually beat ourselves.
So you think everything's pretty much correctable?
It is. It is.
Thank you, Demarcus.
Appreciate y'all.
You can hear that from Demarcus Lawrence. I mean, it's not what this Dallas defense wants to see. And yes, they were missing Trayvon Diggs. We talked about it extensively on Cowboys pregame live. This is a team that has the depth, though, in the secondary, on the defensive line, especially in the front seven, to get the job done without a guy like Trayvon Diggs in the fold. But they didn't do that. They didn't set the tone the same way they have.
They didn't look jailed. They didn't look like they were all on the same page. We showed you earlier Lewis was out of place. Bland, for the first time in a whole game where he got to be the outside guy, and they targeted him a little bit, and it kind of hurt him. He looked a little bit uncomfortable. But just give him time. Only one game. They said they beat themselves. We just know that this can't happen next week. A better team is coming in, I think, in the Patriots.
Did Arizona do anything specifically different in terms of the way they attacked and managed the front seven? Micah still ended up with his sack, but for the most part, this front seven was kept off balance by what they were doing from a play calling standpoint.
Just personnel, like we saw Rondale Moore in the backfield. We saw guys in different places. They ran a lot of crossing routes, and they threw off these guys that are new to their positions for this year. Bland being on the outside with Lewis coming back from 10 reps 1 week. Now he's running 40, 50 reps this week. So just a little bit of mix-up. They're going to get in, they're going to study the film, they'll be a little bit better. And we have to stop the run.
Stopping the run is huge, no doubt about it. Let's talk about that a little bit more when we come back. We're going to hear from Jaron Kearse, but why were the Cowboys so down on stopping the run? 222 rushing yards allowed in this one as the Cowboys fall to the Cardinals. We'll be right back with more Cowboys Game Night right after this. Dallas defensively struggles to stop the run. 222 rushing yards allowed. Last year, that was only one game last year. All of the entire 17-game schedule where the Cowboys gave up more yards on the ground. Let's hear from Jaron Kearse out at State Farm Stadium about the state of the Cowboys defense and if this is something we can expect moving forward.
A lot went wrong. I don't really got words. It was just bad. It was bad. Just bad football. Bad football. It wasn't sound. It was just bad.
The struggles against the run, man, that's just something that hadn't been an issue the first 2 weeks, it seemed like. It just seemed like that was just something that also snowballed a little bit, or what can you make of the issues in that part of the game specifically?
I don't know, not until we sit and watch the film, just see what exactly went wrong. But they ran a lot of pull schemes, got downhill. Didn't really attack us on the edge much. It was just a lot of downhill running with a lot of pull schemes. Getting their linemen on our edge guys. Me included when it came down to pullers. But no more when we watch the film. But we weren't good enough. Myself included. It was bad.
Was it something you didn't necessarily see on film coming in, or was it just you guys trying to execute and stop it?
We knew what type of game it was going to be. We definitely knew what type of game it was going to be, and they just came out and I guess their will was stronger than ours, and it showed throughout the game. So, but like I said, it's not really. I don't have many words. It was just bad. We were bad. We didn't help our offense enough. So, I don't really even know what to say. It was just bad football on our part.
What's your message to your teammates moving forward?
This is one game. This is one game. Let's get back in that building tomorrow and get ready for next week. This is one game. So the skies aren't falling. We still have everything in front of us. Let's just get to work. We got to attack it.
That's the right mindset from J-Ron Kearse. He says, let's put this behind us. Let's move forward. But if you're going to move forward, you're going to need somebody to step up. Who needs to step up the most to stop the run better moving into week 4?
It's the front seven. It's from Jonathan Hankins. It's from Osa. It's from our linebackers, Layton and Clark. These guys got to step up. And Parsons and D-Law got to set their edge. He said they didn't get outside enough a lot, but they got outside enough. So they got to set their edge. That front seven has to dictate. When the front seven dictates, the Cowboys win. They have turnovers. When the front seven don't dictate, this is what you see, a disgruntled, disassembled defensive backfield.
How much pressure is on Mazi Smith to fill that void? Because Mazi Smith hasn't seen the same number of snaps as a guy like Jonathan Hankins or Osa Odighizuwa. It's mostly been those guys in the middle, but do you need to see more from your first-round pick? I know it's early. It's just week 3, but to this point, it hasn't been a huge impact from that guy.
We're hoping the light come on. Everybody's being patient with Mazi. We need for the light to come on. You were drafted at that position because they thought that you would be ready by now, but you're not. The light has to come on. Get your technique down. This game is more about being strong. You have to step one way or the other to help your linebackers. We need for you to do that. Come on, Mazi.
Real quickly, do you think he can do that?
I hope he can. I don't know. This is the NFL. Until you get in there with the big boys and these full-grown men, you just don't know.
You have no idea. No type of rep like a game rep. And Mazi Smith's still got to find his way into game reps in order to make a bigger impact. When we come back, we're going to put this one in the rearview mirror. Cowboys game night now looks forward to week 4 and the New England Patriots when we come back after this.
Dallas Cowboys Game Night was presented by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys.
This could be blamed for the 28-16 loss from the Dallas Cowboys to the Arizona Cardinals in week 3. You could blame the red zone offense. You could blame the defense for not setting the tone. You could blame a number of different things, but penalties certainly stick out. 13 penalties for 107 yards. There you see it down at the bottom. Outside of that, they actually win a lot of the statistical categories against the Cardinals, but they don't win the most important one, and that's the scoreboard. 28-16 final from Arizona. He's Nate Newton. I'm Kyle Yeomans. Wrapping up Cowboys game night. Now we look ahead to the Patriots. What needs to see the biggest uptick from week 3 to week 4?
Coach Belichick's going to see that, and he's going to run the ball. He's going to find a million ways to run the ball, and he's going to make sure that our red zone get tested. And that's 2 things we have to do. We have to be more. We have to be 60% in the red zone, and I'm talking about touchdowns, not 3. And we have to stop the run so we can earn the right to rush the passer. That's when we're at our best, when our front 7 stop the run.
Yeah, and you look at some of the guys that the Patriots do bring to the table. They've got a phenomenal defense, one of the top defenses in the NFL, but they bring Ramondre Stevenson, one of the top tailbacks, backing him up. Ezekiel Elliott coming back to AT&T Stadium. If you're going to slow them down, what's one guy coming back this week that you feel like needs to have a better game?
For us, we need to have it's 2, Jonathan Hankins and Osa. These 2 guys have to play well.
Got to be better up front. Anybody that you want to see back on that offensive line because you were missing 3 guys today?
Zach Martin, the butcher, baby. I call him the president, but they call him the butcher because he chops everything up.
Injuries were certainly a factor in this one. We can't end the show without talking about that. Cowboys without Tyron Smith, Tyler Biadasz, and Zach Martin. Hopefully all 3 will be back and ready to go for week 4. For Nate Newton and our entire Dallas Cowboys crew, I'm Kyle Yeomans saying so long for Cowboys game night. We'll see you next week.